Hello everyone, we're just introducing ourselves to you all as the two folks behind the foundation of Shantarasa, Yoga Darshana. And just to speak a little bit about the emphasis to the teaching style and content Shantarasa offers. So this is Keval.
Hello. Yeah, and we have been working in tandem as a duo, conducting these programs now for about 15 years. And it grew out of an inspiration to be able to share the many years of practice that we have both dedicated ourselves to, and it felt like a necessary step and a natural consequence for that previous work, to be able to share the wisdom, the inspiration, and the guidance that traditional yoga provides in a whole range of contexts and also applications. So what we'd like to share with you now is some insights and perspectives into some of the programs that Shantarasa currently offers. So we'll begin with the basic foundational program that we offer, which is the 200-hour training, the Yoga Teacher Training Level 1. And that is a program that you will see offered in many places today. This is certainly not a unique course that we offer, in that many people have taken yoga teacher training courses and they've become ubiquitous. You find them everywhere, in all kinds of places and all the times. However, we feel that there is scope to be able to offer this kind of program along with the many others that are offered. The reason we feel this way is because the approach that we take is based on traditional yogic instruction. And that's something that's not so common today. Most people associate yoga training with the physical component of yoga, which is called asana, sometimes called asana, but it's actually asana. And that is really just the tip of the iceberg of what yoga actually has to offer in terms of reorientation and training. And so we wanted to be able to incorporate many of the other rich and powerful features and aspects of the yoga tradition into a program such as this. So it's a full-bodied course in the sense that you will certainly learn a great deal about asana, the theory of asana, the roots of asana, where it has come from, how it is to be applied and utilized in a way that will be most beneficial. But more than that, to be able to get a good understanding, a good perspective of what yoga really has to offer, the entirety of who we are, not just our bodies. So there's a great deal that is directed towards beginning to meet and understand our psyches, our mental lives in ways that perhaps we've not done before. That can be very, very beneficial. And yoga has some fantastic insights into how to cultivate a way in which we can bring this kind of understanding into every aspect, every facet of our daily lives, to enrich our experience and make life just so much more enjoyable and rewarding, especially in relationship to challenging times like we have right now. And through a sound yoga practice and implementation, you'll find that you'll be able to meet and navigate through these kinds of challenges and demanding times that are current for all of us. You want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's a good overview of the training. We like to always honour the tradition, the roots of the practice, the tradition itself, but even more importantly to meet the inquirer. And so we've learned over a lot of years that it's best not to give what isn't asked for, but to meet the inquiry. And I remember our teacher once saying, I give what people want in the hope that they will want what I have to give. And from the perspective of yoga as a path, as a way of living, as a means to human transformation and evolution, there is so much to give. And so our courses move gradually through those levels of inquiry. So level 200-hour training meets the interest in asana practice, and then the other practices that support the way in which traditional asana is intended to benefit a person. So with the addition of focus on breath, pranayama, meditation, and inquiry, personal inquiry, self-inquiry. But then we move from there into the other levels of training. So then we step into the 300-hour training, which is more advanced in some ways, but I'd rather use the word deep, in that it then takes the practitioner who's perhaps already begun to teach a little and met the various challenges to oneself and to one's skill level in teaching. And so the 300 hours seeks to give deeper teaching skills, a deeper way to practice personally, so you have that personal resource to draw from, and also a way to begin to work very competently with one individual, which is a different way of working. Working with a group, we all develop our method and our way, our teaching style, but working one-on-one with an individual, we have to have strong listening skills and a deeper ability to meet a personal need. So that training is part of the 300-hour. Within the 300-hour, we also visit yoga psychology and meditation. And Keval mentioned these times, and I think it's okay to mention these times because I think they'll extend for all of us for many years ahead. And so the challenge in our societies today is maintaining a stable mind, a healthy mind. To do that, we need to understand the mind, and the yogic understanding of the mind is profound and complete. And so beginning to study what we call yoga psychology, which is the practical extension of yoga philosophy, we start to comprehend just what is mind and how can we become skillful with that very vast and important aspect of our own existence. And it's a fascinating and truly wonderful area of study. And that naturally then leads into meditation, meditation being one of the most essential practices for steady state of mind and also reaching beyond mind. So we introduced the meditation of the Siddhas. Our instruction came through the Siddha tradition of the south of India. And it's a very beautiful practice in that meditation awakens literally within you and becomes very spontaneous, and it ignites a desire for meditation, and it awakens a depth in meditation that can come a little sooner than sometimes people find when using a lot of ways or methods that involve a lot of self-effort. So there's a little extra ingredient in the practice of the Siddhas that make it spontaneous. So that's what we introduce, and in teaching, that practice one needs to have a strong sense of that awakened spontaneous quality within them to then begin to teach from, again, that place of experience.
I'd just like to add something in terms of an overall holistic view as to this particular approach. The name of the educational service that we offer is Shantarasa Yoga Darshana. Shantarasa means quintessential or a foundation of peace. And yoga, I guess, speaks for itself. The word Darshana is a fascinating word. It's derived from the yogic lexicon. And Darshana means to be able to see deeply, not just to see things, but to see to the heart of things, to gain what we would call insight. And concurrent with that is a level of understanding, capacity to assimilate experience in a way that enriches one's life. So what we're wanting to foster here, and what we endeavor to practice obviously ourselves, is an approach to life that awakens and nurtures the capacity for insight, to glean richness from our own experience. It's been said before that everything that we need is right there before us, but we often don't have the capacity to be able to extract the lessons and the understandings from life itself. And so yoga provides some inroads, some directions, some guidance to be able to master living well, master living joyfully. And hopefully we can bring a quality of that to the exchange that we'll have with you if you choose to participate in any of this work with us. It's about what I need to say right now. I don't know if Sadhana wants to add anything else. Essentially, there are two types of people that end up working with us in these trainings. And that is, first, those people that have thought about doing a yoga teacher training course before to actually become instructors. And I just find it fascinating today how many people are teaching yoga, which goes to show just how widely yoga has interfaced with so many different areas of the population. And that's a totally valid reason. And this training is predicated on providing people with the best kind of skilled training that you can get to be able to actually instruct others, both in a group format and also on a one-to-one basis as well, which is what we do in the 300-hour. But interestingly, a lot of people enroll in the teacher's training course to just enhance and further their own experience of what their interface with yoga has been up until that point in time. Maybe it's just been asana. Other people enroll in the course because they're fascinated by yoga's approach to life, yoga philosophy. You know, bringing meaning and purpose to your life in a way that can touch you in ways off the mat. And some people have enrolled in this course and have never been on a mat before, and that's not really their interest. They want to simply discover and be able to absorb the quintessential teachings that yoga provides in such a rich way that honestly so many other different self-development and self-enhancement trainings just don't offer.
There is something they all carry that is the same. And that is this feeling of either articulated and conscious or non-articulated and unconscious need or yearning to understand life, themselves, and how to bring a deeper experience to both, a deeper sense of meaning and purpose and understanding. So often there's this feeling that, you know, the world is a little chaotic and empty, and the sources of knowledge and book reading and study don't fulfill that depth of inquiry. And they sense that through yoga they might find that depth met. And very beautifully in the discussions, the very lively discussions and interface we have and enjoy with each and every person that does study with Shantarasa, that thirst becomes somewhat satisfied. They do find something that enriches them deeply and also then begins to give them a greater sense of how they can live, what they can give their energy, attention and love to. So a certain quality of life change follows that, which, you know, that's the side of it that we love, is seeing where people take all of this.
And the range of courses that we offer cater to many, many different people in different ways. So we have the yoga teacher training courses, but we have ongoing learning courses as well. There are courses in Ayurveda, which is the holistic science of well-being that's offered. which is a companion study to yoga. We have a prenatal and postnatal training. We have a whole range of interesting courses as well, the yoga psychology and meditation course. So there are lots of different ways that people can vector into this field of yoga from their own quite specific personal interest and begin to establish a deep connection and
I think one of the entry points that's important to just single out is that some people choose just because they want to study. They're not looking for a certificate, they're not looking to become anything, they just want to study and to go a bit deeper so that they can enrich their own personal practice and their own lives. So all of our courses offer that option, from the 200-hour through the 300-hour through all of the other extensions of study that we do offer. So we love to make it available to people who just have that desire to learn.
And in fact, in the yoga teacher training courses, you'll get a lot of that. It's actually inclusive, and it's one of the things that make these courses actually unique and different from many other teacher training courses that are offered, that are primarily geared towards just asana. This is asana plus all the rest of it as well, in a complete package.
So it could be useful to throw the question back at the person who's seeking a course, and that is, how do you filter through the vast array of what's on offer and find what will give you best value and best outcome? And I think that requires the seeker to ask a few questions. One is, from a central point of my view here, would be, does what is on offer have a root to it? Does it have a lineage or a tradition, or does it draw its knowledge from a depth that's exceeded the last perhaps 10 years? I think that in those types of courses, you're going to find a lot more in terms of what will serve your own personal practice, your own desire for change and development, and your own desire for skills that will have real meaning for others.
One of the interesting features that I've come to consider with all of this is that people that are in remote learning situations can now participate in these sorts of trainings. We recently had quite a number of inquiries coming from Europe and other places apart from Australia. And these courses now have been formatted in such a way that regardless of where you are, you don't need to be in the physical vicinity of Shantarasa in terms of locale to be able to participate in these trainings, and that's wonderful.
So once we used to go out to all of these places, jump on planes and travel to all these different corners of the globe, but now everyone can come at the same time, and we find we have these beautiful mixes of people from different countries, different regions, different states, and this is, the benefit of the online forum. So the one thing I would like to add, perhaps as a completion to this little interview, is that all of yoga practice and teaching is to inspire in the practitioner toward the steady state of mind. And when the mind becomes clear and steady, then something else comes forward for us, something very deep and essential. And that's what changes our meeting with life and experience. And as we've already mentioned, these times are calling upon people in ways that require deep personal resource. And what has become evident is instability of mind is becoming more prevalent. And so the ways, the methods, the practices, the knowledge of yoga can serve each and every individual in whatever way they choose to live more powerfully.
Just to conclude, this is an invitation extended to those of you that are participating in this to explore further. Please review the courses on offer. As we said before, ask us any questions that you might have. We will get back to you. We'd love to be able to interface with you in that way. And hopefully we have the opportunity to interface together and learn together and grow together from this very powerful medium that yoga offers. So on both of our behalfs, we say thank you and adieu.